Things I wish that I'd registered for, or that I should have registered for. Number 1, the Dome sound machine. That's DOHM sound machine. It's by Yoga Sleep. We have the Hatch, and I loved it until, of course, we visited a friend who had the Dome, and I was rocking my daughter. She needed a nap. I was rocking my daughter in the nursery while the Dome was going, and it was so soothing. I almost fell asleep. I almost fell asleep while rocking her. The Hatch has this really like in your face, loud, bright, shushing like white noise, but the Dome is like more background. It's not as bright, it's lower in pitch. It's just so soothing, and they keep it on all day long. So I should get one of those instead, because we barely use our Hatch. A bath elbow pad with magnetic sides. I have the Pooge, I think it's Pooge, P-U-J, Pooge, whatever. I have the kneeler and elbow pad, and they're great, they're fine. I loved them up until recently. Now that she is so much larger than a baby, since she's a huge toddler, every time I go to lift her into the tub, it gets knocked in and it gets wet. Now, could I remember to just move it aside before I lift her into the tub? Probably. Will I? Absolutely not. I can't even find one that's got magnetic sides. All of the ones that I see online are either the ones that drape over the edge, like the one that I have, or it's got suction cups, and I really doubt that that's gonna work, because we've tried so many like toy bath toy storage solutions that had suction cups, and none of them worked. So I don't really trust suction cups on our tub. A space-saving bottle drying rack. We got one from Philips Avent. It matches with our bottles. It works great. There's nothing wrong with it. It holds up to 8 bottles with its accessories. But I saw one recently that leans like up against the wall, so it saves space, and it's like a vertical stacking instead of horizontal. Now, I don't know if it would actually work without like sliding or tipping or falling over, but it seems so cool, and like that's so much extra counter space that we could have in our tiny little kitchen, in our tiny little rented apartment, that I just feel like maybe it could have been better. It could have been better. A convertible car seat. I was originally going to register for only a convertible car seat that was infant and newborn friendly with one of those inserts, but I got talked out of it by so many people who said, oh no, you're gonna love the convenience of the carrier and the infant seat, because then you can click it into the stroller and it's easy to take the bath in and out of the car. We hardly went anywhere ever because of COVID. And since my daughter has been using a convertible car seat since March of 2021, when she outgrew it, it's been sitting in our kitchen because we have nowhere to store it. So I wish I'd just gotten one. If we have a second kid, I'll probably use the infant car seat just because we already have it, but I wish we didn't. The Mama-Roo. My daughter hated the swing that we had. It was big, it took up a lot of room, and she didn't like the straight swinging side to side or even the front to back. The Mama-Roo has more natural movements. It does U's, it does figure eights, it does sways, it does bounces. I feel like it's more like what she would experience if she was being held by me or when she was in the womb. I feel like she would have liked it better, which means we would have gotten more use out of it, but instead our swing took up a lot of space in our house for a really long time, and then when we tried to dismantle it, it broke. So we're not going to be able to use that again with a second kid. A better stroller. There's nothing wrong with the one that we have now. We use the Graco Modes bassinet, which is actually not really available in stores anymore. Maybe it was just like I don't know, whatever. There's nothing wrong with the one that we use, but I wish we'd gotten one that was like a jogging stroller so I could run more easily, or one that had better suspension and like all-terrain tires instead of the ones that we got, because anytime that we go on any kind of surface that is not smooth pavement, it makes for a very bumpy ride. And it's really heavy, so it's hard to steer, and if I'm trying to run or like I want to walk and swing my arm really, heavily, then it's really hard to push with one hand and steer it. So I kind of wish we'd just gotten a better stroller. And when we have a second kid, we're probably going to end up with a double stroller, so maybe we'll get a jogging stroller then. A dresser with a changing table top. We got a crib with a changing table attached to it, so it cannot be separated. I hate it. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. There are 2 drawers on that one, and a shelf, and nothing stays organized. She can access all of it. It's right next to her bed. So I feel like a bigger dresser with a changing table would have made more room for an actual dedicated diaper changing area rather than being basically her bed. And having a dresser means you have more storage space, which means I can organize things nicely. And with my ADHD like brain, I just can't. Her room is so messy, and it just drives me nuts. And a bookshelf for all of her books. This girl has a ton of books. Right now we have 3 baskets of books that are so full of books that I rotate out on like a sort of monthly basis. It used to be monthly, but I kept forgetting. So now it's just whenever I get bored of reading her the same books over and over. And when we buy a house, I still do want to buy a bookshelf, a small one. We can't, obviously, since we rent, we can't mount a bookshelf to the wall or anything. So we're afraid that she's going to tip it over. So we don't have one, but I definitely would like to get one of them. Actually, I have one in mind. It's the one with the little like seats in the middle, so she can like pull a book out and like go sit in it. It's cute. I love it. I'm a book nerd, so